So you know I'm all about making art, watercolor specifically, accessible and fun and easy and stress-free, but I also like to be able to maybe save a painting that I felt wasn't really good. I'm not saying that you're making art that you don't love, but I assume that it happens from time to time. It happens to me. So today I'm sharing one of my number one hacks. I like to say that a lot. One of the things I love the most, to be able to save a painting or elevate a painting with details a little bit more than maybe I used to. So let's get to painting and I'll tell you all about it. Well, I'm spraying down my palette as usual. I've got my watercolor journal. This is just a cheap Strathmore. And I have last week's tutorial right there. Just painting upside down because I just am. It's working better for the position of the sketchbook, for the filming. This is the reference we're using today. Really excited about it. I feel like I'm going to stick to it pretty well, but we will see because that always changes. And I'm using my watercolor brushes today. So use what you got. You can use a round brush. You can use a filbert. Either one. I am going to use the quill though. And if you're interested in the brushes, as usual, they will be linked below and you can check them out. So we're wetting our brush and we're just going to start with our very loose florals. Of course, I'm talking about my hack today about, what helps with my watercolor paintings, making them easy and effortless and all that fun stuff. And we're using mixed media today. So that is it. That is the key. We're just going to go side of the brush and go kind of swoop down towards the middle, making these little shapes here. We're doing these poppies. Honestly, this sort of looks like a big rounded bloom. And so swooping in like this, just kind of doing that. We can do some little edges to the petals later, making this a little bit smaller just because of the perspective of the flower. Just very easy peasy, simple. What I want to do today is kind of take some of that orange, add in some yellow, change it up a little bit. We've got some side-facing poppies, so I'm just going to swoop in. That did not change at all. A little bit more fiery orange. A little bit there, a little bit this way too. Just loving the thin and thick marks you can do with a quill. Absolutely fun. We can dip in, grab some red, and we're just going to make this little kind of a umbrella shape, upside down umbrella, like this, swooping it in, like that. I always invite you to pause the video if it's too fast, because I paint fast. It's definitely true. Gets my brain out of my stuck space of like trying to be perfect. I'm holding that brush really loosely. I'm not worrying about the final result, right? That's what I hope for you. Just swooping down some bigger petals here. Some cutie pies. All right, let's do some brighter orange just right up here. Oh, that's nice. That value is gorgeous. It's nice to change up the value so that you have just different, light mid-tones and then the dark. That's just a beautiful aspect. So, why am I calling this a hack for using mixed media? Well, because it almost feels like cheating. I'm going to do another larger one here because you don't have to define so much of your petals because you're going to go in later on with maybe a black pen or maybe a marker or maybe a pastel or maybe a colored pencil. I don't know what it'll be for you as I'm switching up the colors and continuing to do that. We're going to do one that's kind of tilted. So it's going to have a tiny little petal here and mostly the big petals right here. And just like that. I guess that's kind of like what I did there. Huh, look at that. But the whole point is that you are using your creative juices to make your own versions of things and just to have like such a fun time with it all. Petals coming out here. So mixed media, so much fun. I've really been loving it lately. It's kind of that spark in my art journey where I started to feel a little bit stagnant. And this happens over and over and over. It's not just like one-time thing. And so that's a way that helps me get out of my creative rut by utilizing other things besides watercolor, which I love watercolor, but we don't have to just use watercolor. Okay, so we're going to do our vase and then we'll add in some sprigs of things as we wet our paper. But if you're liking this video, please hit the like button, let us all know so that other people will enjoy the party, all that fun stuff. Don't forget to subscribe either. All right, so I'm using this beautiful purpley blue and it's very thick. I'm just gonna sketchy marks go around this way. It's very thick and it's kind of like gouache or acrylic. See, I'm just being really messy, kind of going for this really loose, sketchy vibe. And then there's a beautiful handle right here that I'm seeing in the picture. So I'm just going for it. So just go for it. Let's just put this up a little bit higher so we can just boop, kind of do that. And then maybe bring it around. I don't know, it's gonna be in there. The flower's in the way. But just fun, you know, certainly not realistic. Love that whole idea. I'm thinking I want to fill it in, dipping, and just fill it in here. Because you always have that choice. You can make more of a clear vase, a see-through vase, or you can fill it in with color. And so we're doing the filling in with color. I just love a good bouquet that makes you feel good, don't you? And so what kind of mixed media do I love to use? I love to use, right now, I have a whole bunch of things, but right now I'm really enjoying acrylic pens, paint pens. They are really fun. And I'll show you what they do because you're going to be able to paint over the top of your watercolor. It's going to be so opaque, kind of like this. I'm using this in an opaque way. If I added water, of course, it will be very clear and see-through. Transparent is the better word to use. So I'm just adding in some darkness here. So we're just playing with the paint, just pushing it around, filling in between the flowers. But I do love those paint pens. And then, so because you can do some really great layering, I do love a nice thick black pen as well, like an inky pen. The acrylic markers do a great job of that too. So you can get those really thick marks. They're just lovely. You can see that I have a lot of water on here, or paint, watery paint. It's going to create a lot of blooms. Clean your brush, dab your brush. I'm cool with that. I like the blooms. The texture to me are just really pretty. Clean brush, dab on your paper towel, and lift off some paint for a little bit of a natural highlight, shall we say. It's just where I want to put it. I'm not being realistic, I'm just being fun. Fun and artsy. Okie doke. So now, before I put my stems in, I do want to add in some other things based on the reference photo. I'm not going to put a flower down here on the ground, although you could if you like. It's in the photo. I'm just going to skip to the green. I'm grabbing this beautiful sap green. And I'm just going to put in, let's see. Actually, I'm going to go on this side, the sprigs. Boop. Just kind of going every which way over here. And now we have an even number, so I had to add in another because that just feels, it's a little bit more attractive when it's asymmetrical. Let's put a few over here. And I don't even attach them right here. You can see in between there's white space. That's how I like to do it. I know some people find that to be wonky, but that's how I do it. That's what works for me. And you can paint it how you'd like to paint it. And that's the great thing about art. I do want to add in some little flowers in between like I see in my reference. I think I'll do the yellow because actually, you know what? No, let's do yellow ochre. Pretty concentrated amount. And I'm literally just going to do some little cute little dabby motions for some of these flowers. Please slow down the video if you think it's too fast. I am going pretty fast today. I'm on fire. I'm feeling good. This is coming together. It's also something that this composition I wanted to do. I saw it last week and thought, my goodness, it's a gorgeous display of florals. So I'm putting those there. I'm going to put some over here. You can see this is quickly starting to become my own thing. And so I encourage you to do that all the time. But make it your own. Look at mine and then just make your own composition based on the colors, the placement you want to do. You're getting so good at this. I know you have been practicing these skills and just honing in on them. And it gives you a sense of beautiful peace, and there's commitment there as well. I don't know why that came to mind, but there's commitment there. But the big thing is that confidence that comes out. So I'm going to go really dark with my stems. I don't know why I'm putting my hand in here. Sorry. It's kind of weird. It's like I love to talk with my hands, so I'm going to take a really dark green. If you don't have a dark green, you can add some dark blue or black to a green that you have. Any green, really. And then we're just going to do some cool, funky stems. I like to curve them. I like them to have some sass to them. So that's what's happening today. And this one has a stem. This one has a stem. That one has a stem. And then all of these guys and gals, they're just, these stems have to meet somewhere. So we do have to kind of add those in the best that we can, but we might put some foliage too. Who knows? We're still figuring it out. For this, I would like, I want to add in a few other things. One of which, I'm going to save this green. Can I do that? I'm going to do that just in case I need it. I want to put one up here that's just poking up out of everything. I just think that's kind of a fun place to put it. I'm going to go super dark red because I can. So, wow, that's pretty. Just swooping. I use the side of the brush. It's going to give me a much, actually, let's go around this way, a much rounder petal than if I were to use it more perpendicular. I want to save some of that paint. And then I will take this for my green and add that one in too. Okay, and then I like to add a little contrast, as you probably know, some wonky little dark features to these stems, and you can see how beautiful that starts too. And are these stems, they could be flowers, I don't know, I haven't decided yet, but they absolutely could be stems with having, you know, little leaves and little flowers at the end. So this is the part where I start to make some decisions of where do I want to actually put things together. I'm gonna go, I think, lighter with my beautiful green gold. It's got yellow, yellowy green, and let's put in some extra little marks there. Just kind of wonky. Doing some filler parts here. Sometimes I regret where I put stuff, but I'm going to try not to do that today. Regret is only going to make us get upset and feel bad about ourselves, and we don't need to regret art when we can learn something from it. Okay, that's fun. So I did 1, 2, 3, and of course we've got those down there, but I like this color. Just allowing your brush to wiggle. Put those marks wherever you feel they should go. Putting in some more here. I kind of like that. I like to fill in that space in the middle, so that's good. And then we've got these florals that are just kind of blending in. This looks like a really fun fall bouquet, actually, which is so funny. Definitely not in the fall, but it's coming. It's around the corner for those of us over here in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay, so what else? I want to do some contrast with the vase. I'd like to do a bit of a shadow. I'm going to go dark. I'm going to go with this navy color for my shadow. And I'm just literally going to kind of skid around on the paper. Artistic shadows are my fave. So see how that is just sketchy. In a good way, not in a bad way. Sometimes you use the word sketchy for bad things. This is not a bad thing. So, whoop, just like that. My funky little shadow there. All right, how are you feeling? I'm gonna grab this same one. I'm gonna grab some more concentrated paint here. I'm actually gonna try something. Put in some different colors in my vase just to be extra artsy. I'm not sure what exactly we're doing here, but I think I like it. Yeah. Just some marks there that, you know, they're interpretive. They're kind of abstracty, you know, and just fun. So we have the mixed media. I have to remember that. So we don't need to keep adding layers. We can just start going with our centers, and then we'll get the mixed media out. It's going to be so fun. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. All right, swirling the brush around, getting really thick paint over here. I am just going to stipple a little bit of a round center. And over here. And over here. That's right, over here. Cleaning my brush. I'm going to get out the concentrated paint over here. And I'm going to carefully do some dancing around the middle of that green. Trying not to touch the green. I want to leave white space. But I don't want it to just all like flow together. There we go. All right, so that's my first center, a little bit more water. This is getting kind of dry. I use this color so much, Payne's Gray. So this one, we're just going around like a little semicircle or a 3/4 of a circle. And you can go outside those lines of the circle as well and just do these little marks. And then this is, I guess I could do just a tiny little bit, but it's flipped. So technically the petals may be covering the other part of the middle. That's kind of what we're doing. And then this one would be the same thing. So some quick little marks over here. And just have a blast at it. So when it's dry, you can always go in and fill in some of that white space too. I'm just going to do a little bit here. Just a little bit. Okay. All right. So fun. Let's put a little splatter. I'm going to use my turquoise today. So water, a lot of water, some paint, tap a little bit, and then just a little bit of splatter over designated areas. I like to do 3 spots just to be asymmetrical once again. Okay, we'll let this dry and we'll get out our mixed media supplies. So I'm going to take my black pen first. This is actually number 2. It's quite thick. You can even use a Sharpie if you wanted to. Over here I have an acrylic paint pen, and there's a larger tip and a smaller tip. So these are really great options. But what I like to do is just kind of go over some of the areas. I'm going to roll up my sleeves. And you can go outside of the lines too. I like to hold it pretty loosely. And you can even just kind of make these really loose petals. That one isn't very dark. If you tried this one here, you could see it might be definitely dark. Okay, so it's definitely darker. So I'm just putting that in. This is going to be very loose. And then you can even put in like some little lines to start adding in some pizzazz. And what I love about it is that you don't have to stay in the lines, right? You can do whatever you would like. You can take a red one and do a similar thing. Like that. You can even take a gold. I've got a gold one, which is absolutely gorgeous. And kind of like do just some gold lines here and there. Just to create a little bit of contrast for this one too. I can do that. I can also just do like some inner petals here and then some outer petals too, to really make that stand out. So I have to say that first layer of paint can be very scary to put down, but it's just the base layer and you have to trust the process, because and even doing this feels a little bit scary. We've got a beautiful fluorescent, oh man, I'm excited. Actually, this is not fluorescent. This is just a powdery pink, but it can be very scary to put down that first layer of color. Even putting down the first layer of marker, I was like, ooh, and it's just that point where your brain is telling you that you need to worry about how it's going to turn out. So I'm just going to do one side for that one. Over here, I'm going to go through, I'm just kind of looking at the pictures of the poppies and how beautiful these petals are and the layers are. And so then you can even layer on the outside too, or you can just leave it. I like to do just a minimal amount. I prefer to do that versus going a little crazy on it. What about this one? This one's gonna have like a really beautiful dark color. So no matter how your flowers turned out, if you don't like them, you can go in and add in the beautiful mixed media and look at how fun this is. I really like the gold. I'm actually going to kind of outline some of this. And I'm just going to let it be wonky too. Just let it just move with your hand. I'm going to do 3 different strands here. And this might not be your style, and that's okay, but maybe it can be part of your style. Can it be something that you can start to add in where you're starting to loosen up and let go? Maybe it's not how you're going to paint or create, but maybe possibly it's a way that you can do your warm-up exercises and get yourself ready for your main paintings. I hope that makes sense, because there's just so much joy that can be brought out of this. And I feel like this does feel like you're cheating, because it just gives those lines that maybe you couldn't quite achieve when you were doing the painting. And you can then go in and make it what you wanted it to be. So much fun. So I do want to do one last little thing. I'm going to go over here, grab a little bit more of that dark green color, and you can even go in and do more watercoloring over the top. I mean, if that's part of the process for you, then that works really well. I'm actually just going to do a little attachment of these flowers to the stem, because I always feel like it looks weird when it's just floating. But this was such fun. Let me know in the comments what you think about mixed media. Are you a fan? Are you more of a purist? And why? What makes you afraid to branch out? Or maybe you don't prefer to branch out of watercolor? Or what makes you do it? I'm so curious to hear it. I'm going to do a little bit of a turquoise here and just add a little bit of that in the shadow, because I thought that would be fun. This is all about that bold, loose, and expressive way of painting. I hope that some feelings come to mind as you're doing this too, because that's something to process. I thought I was done, but I realized I'm not, because I wanted to outline a few of these little guys too. This is such a fun way, bold way to do your painting and your creating. At least for me, I'm just loving this. And you know, if you have a favorite mixed media supply, please let me know in comments what it is. You can see this is just a blob. It didn't really turn out the way I wanted to, and now I'm just adding in some movement, adding in some cute looseness, and there we go, guys. That's our creation, our painting for today. So I hope that this hack, which is something you might already be doing, and I hope that it's something that's helpful to you. Maybe it's not something that you've mixed together. Maybe you've heard from the watercolor purists, I'm doing a lot of this today, that you can only do watercolor and you can't mix other types of art materials together, and that's just not true. So I'd love to hear from you guys in comments. Let me know if you use mixed media, if you enjoy it, if you hate it, all those things. I love learning and growing. And what's your favorite supply that you like to add to your watercolor? I want to draw your attention to several things. First of all, and everything is linked below, I have a palette choice for you. It's by Meeden. A lot of you guys ask me about this palette and where I get it. I got it from Etsy. It's usually out of stock. It is not in the affordable range. It was a splurge that I did for my birthday. It's a lovely palette. It is linked below if you want to get it. But if you want a more affordable option, one that has lots of space for all the paint to go into, those little wells, as well as that mixing space that I love so much, then Meeden has the palette for you. And there's several different sizes as well. So you can click the link below and you can get a 12% off discount using my code. It's in the description too. And last but not least, you know I'm going into Italy this October. I went last year for the art retreat, and I have a wait list for Italy, October 2026. So if you are interested in coming on that trip, 2026, next year, then you can click the link below to sign up on the wait list. It doesn't mean that you're committed to go. You don't have to put any money down. Just letting us know that you're interested in it, and we'll let you know when more information is available for registration, all that stuff. So thank you so much for watching the video. This is long, I know, and I'll see you guys soon in the next tutorial. And if you don't know what to watch next, here's another suggestion for you guys. Happy painting, happy mental health.